Hey guys, no new tutorial today, just going to do a quick little video here. So I just want to look at the new walkers that I've made recently and potentially will be making in the future. So most of these are pretty huge builds that will be done in massive tutorials over the course of probably the next year or so. Maybe a little bit more, maybe like the year after, potentially, depending on what happens. So here we have the new AT80, and this is basically the ultimate version of it, really, that I've made. So when I did the AT-ACT sort of like a showcase kind of thing, this wasn't the one that was featured in that. This is actually a brand new one. So basically what happened was I went back and looked at my AT-AT design, and I realized there was a lot of flaws with it. First of all, the legs were just so long compared to the body. It was, well, to be fair, with the AT-ACT, the legs are actually meant to be quite a bit longer in comparison to the body, and that is what it looked like with the AT-AT, whereas this one is, well, it's now perfect pretty much. And the reason it is so accurate is because I've used a technique that I've used quite a few times with a lot of bigger builds, where basically what I do is I take a straight side image of the actual vehicle. So this could be a fan-made picture, but I make sure it's accurate, or even one that's been supplied by, like artwork books. So I get a straight on side view of the ship or vehicle, and then what I do is I then put it into paint, resize it to basically 10 times whatever the length of the vehicle would be in double scale. So with the AT-80, I think it's something like 25 meters long. So I put it into paint, scaled it to double scale, so that's 50 meters long, and then I times it by 10 to make 500, and then I put that into pixels, so 500 pixels long. And then what I did was in paint I actually scrolled through each individual pixel for each segment of the AT-AT. For example, I'd go to maybe the foot, and then I'd basically scroll up on the picture, and the amount of pixels it was would translate to how many blocks are actually meant to be placed. So that's why with this one and with a lot of the other builds I've done recently, like the turbo tank, the proportions are so good, and I say that kind of as a fact. I'm not bragging. The proportions are pretty much exact. So yeah, but anyway, this is the new AT-AT, and basically what's different about this one is that, well, first of all, the proportions are better. Second of all, there are some design things that I didn't actually take into account. For example, I didn't know that this front kind of slope bit of the cargo bay or troop bay or whatever it was, that's actually a lot shorter than the one on the back. But what I'd done in the original was had this one just basically transplanted onto the back end, and then it kind of ended right here, and this bit was missing, which really threw the look of the thing off. So yeah, and yeah, there's also a lot more detail, really. Like these side panels are proper detailed in now and everything. It looks really good. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite version of this I've built so far. But yeah, and basically what this is today is just a showcase of all three walkers, and I say three because I do have three that are pretty much done. Okay, that's a lie. The third one isn't actually pretty much done. It's halfway there. And I will be starting a fourth as well, which is going to be the Rebels version of the AT-AT as well. So that's good. As soon as I get a definite measurement for that, I will be starting that. I'm just not entirely sure what the height or length of that is yet. So yeah. Then on to the AT-ACT. So this one's obviously a lot taller. I'm going to switch my render up now, just so you can see. Let's go to the top of the AT-AT. So that's about here. So that goes up to basically the top of just the leg of the AT-ACT, which is pretty mad. That one's probably going to be about an hour-long tutorial, maybe even 2 hours. Nah, 2 hours stretching it, 1.5 most. This one could be 2 hours plus. And then, ready? So this is the AT-M6 that I've started on. So I've got the legs done. I know this is quite an anticlimax. None of the body's done. But here is the basis for the legs, really. And this thing is huge. So I've got a double scale Kylo Ren and double scale Rey here. And you can just see how well they scale to the actual thing. That thing is ginormous. Absolutely huge. I wasn't fond of the design at first, and I'm still not completely fond of the design of the front legs with this. Take this as sort of like a pre-showcase. So there are a few design discrepancies as well. See, with the references I got online, 2 different screenshots from the actual movie showed different designs for these back bits and also for the inside of the legs here. They're from the same movie. I don't see how that works. Although I do think one of them was promotional, but I don't see why that would make a huge difference. What's cool about the ATM6 though is that this would be probably my biggest tutorial yet, and I don't know, I kind of like the design in a way. It's growing on me. It's sort of like I wish they'd maybe use this design in Rogue One instead of just making a bigger AT-AT in a way. But yeah, the legs are a really weird design. The front ones anyway. The back ones are pretty standard, but the front ones, yeah, they're very strange. And I mean, if you want a sense of scale and how big the tutorial for this would be, look at one of the front feet. So something this big could count, like the foot itself could count as an entire tutorial. That's like I guess a medium-sized tutorial for me. Would just be this foot. So when I do this, it will be sped up, and probably I will just be building half of it, and then leaving you to do the other half, because I genuinely would not have enough time to do the full thing. I would be exhausted by then, but yeah. But from a distance, it looks freaking amazing so far. You can just imagine when it's finished, it's going to look absolutely insane. And another sense of scale here is the front legs. So remember, the top of the first AT-AT reaches the top of the legs of the AT-ACT. The front legs of the ATM6 actually go pretty much, I'd say about just over halfway up the AT-ACT's body. And that's just crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah, this thing is mighty big. But yeah, guys, that's going to be basically everything. I'm sorry I didn't have a tutorial for you. I've just been quite busy. But yeah, I will see you soon. Probably by the next video showcase thing, that will probably be done. Or at least mostly done. By the next tutorial, probably not. I do have a tutorial in progress at the minute that I'm recording. And that's somewhere over there. So look forward to that. It's a pretty big one. So yeah, guys, I'll see you later. Goodbye.